What if I told you one of the most iconic moments in modern wrestling history almost never happened? What if the legendary night CM Punk beat John Cena at Money in the Bank 2011 wasn't a master plan, but a last-minute decision forced by the fans themselves? Because behind the pipe bomb promo and the electric atmosphere in that Chicago arena, there was a company completely unsure of what to do. In 2011, John Cena was the face of WWE. He was the safe bet, the merchandise machine, the man who carried the company. CM Punk, on the other hand, was the outspoken rebel, seen as difficult by management, with his contract just weeks from expiring. Then came the infamous pipe bomb promo. But even that wasn't designed to start a revolution. It was just meant to create some buzz, sell a pay-per-view. We thought they could control the controversy, harness the energy, and then have Cena win like always. The machine doesn't lose to rebellion, right? But something unexpected happened. The audience didn't just cheer for Punk, they chose him. Every arena, every show, the chants got louder than the script. CM Punk wasn't just another challenger anymore. He became the voice of the voiceless, a symbol against corporate control and predictable storytelling. When Cena and Punk stood in the ring, the reaction was overwhelming. Punk was the hometown hero, and Cena, the company's ultimate good guy, was booed out of the building. We Creative was suddenly facing a nightmare scenario. If Cena wins clean in Chicago, the backlash could seriously damage the brand. But if Punk loses in his hometown after all this build-up, the audience might just give up on the product entirely. The risk was enormous. Reports have suggested that the plan for the finish changed multiple times in the days leading up to the show. They considered interference, a screwy finish, anything to protect Cena while cooling Punk down. But every week, the CM Punk signs multiplied, the chants grew louder, and the idea of him leaving with the title became bigger than any scripted story. The crowd had written their own ending, and WWE could feel the pressure. The night of Money in the Bank 2011 felt different. That wasn't just wrestling excitement in Chicago. It was the energy of a rebellion. The fans weren't there to watch a match. They were there to demand a result. When Cena walked out, the boos were deafening. When Punk appeared, the building literally shook. This was the anti-establishment hero versus the corporate face. And the company had to decide right then and there whether to fight the wave or ride it. The match itself was an epic. Near falls, dramatic pauses, crowd eruptions, every moment felt historic. As it unfolded, it became crystal clear that the audience would not accept anything less than a CM Punk victory. Everyone feared the classic corporate screwjob was coming. But in a symbolic twist, it was Cena who refused to win that way. He stopped Laurinaitis, which allowed Punk to hit the GTS and get the clean pin in the middle of the ring. That wasn't just a finish. It was a statement. Cena, the ultimate company man, agreed to lose in the biggest way possible to protect the story and, more importantly, the business. Without his cooperation, the moment wouldn't have felt authentic. But here's where the story gets really interesting. Even after Punk won, WWE had no long-term plan. The summer of Punk was not a carefully crafted blueprint. It was them scrambling to keep up with the momentum. He returned quickly, Alberto Del Rio cashed in his Money in the Bank contract, and the revolution started to wobble. The truth is, WWE never intended to build the company around CM Punk. They were forced to elevate him because the fans demanded it so loudly they couldn't be ignored. This was one of those rare times where the crowd's reaction completely overpowered corporate planning. And it terrified management. Because if the fans can hijack the show once, they can do it again. And they did with Daniel Bryan, with Kofi Kingston, and others who caught fire organically. But CM Punk in 2011 was the spark. That night proved that wrestling is at its absolute best when the audience feels like their voices are heard. It was real emotion bleeding into fiction. So why does this story still feel so special today? Because for one incredible night, the machine blinked first, and the fans won. Thanks for watching, and if you enjoyed this look back at a legendary moment, be sure to like and subscribe for more stories from wrestling history.